Hi, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Leo Wyszynski. It's great for me to get the chance to talk to you this afternoon about a concept that's near and dear to my heart, taking care of soldiers. As a young cadet, I can't count the number of times people said, you know, cadet, you need to take care of soldiers when you're a lieutenant. And really, I didn't understand what that meant. And a few months before graduation, we had a general officer come up and talk to us, and he gave us a good acronym, which after 21 years, I've still remembered because it works very well. And I want to share that with you today when you think about what you have to do to take care of soldiers. The acronym is called TIPS, T-I-P-S. So the T stands for talk to your soldiers. This might sound simple, but interacting with your soldiers to find out who they are, where they come from, and most importantly, what their goals are is very important to help building trust in your organization. So when you talk to soldiers, what kinds of questions should you ask? I think the most important one is to find out what goals they have. And a lot of times, based on your soldier's background, you'll find that maybe growing up, they weren't very goal-oriented, or they don't have goals. And that's part of your job as a young officer to identify your people and how to get them to the next level and what their goals are. And if they don't have them, to challenge them and give them goals. The Army gets better as its people get better. Your unit gets better as the individuals in it get better. I stands for keep people informed. One of my favorite of Murphy's Laws of War is that you should never let the fog of war begin with the commander's intent. And what that really means, and it's critical to mission command, is that your soldiers need to understand the purpose of what's behind what you're doing before they can, as you expect them to achieve that purpose. And it's not a single conversation, but engaging often. If you're in a course of a combat mission, telling them why they're doing what they need to be able to do when they're 40 kilometers away from you or 10 kilometers and you're not right there with them, they understand the overall purpose. So when this opportunity arises, they feel empowered to seize that opportunity. So keeping people informed and letting them know the overall purpose of the information is critical to building trust and understanding in your organization and providing the empowerment for them to seize initiative, which is what we want to do, and we want to do that at the lowest level. So continuously talk to the people in your organization about your intent, your commander's intent, and it is high up as you can explain, so they understand what they're doing and but more importantly, but why they're doing it. The next letter in the acronym is predictability. Everyone wants to know what's coming next, but in the Army, I don't think we do a very good job oftentimes at presenting everyone with a timeline for what needs to happen and what needs to happen. As a lieutenant at the forefront of the battlefield, you're really at the edge of chaos, and your job is to make a stable environment out of that chaos, and providing predictability to your soldiers and also to their families is a great way to do that. You'll get schedules from your company commander. You'll see the battalion schedule. Take that information and do your best, and sometimes it's hard, but do your best to frame the near-term, mid-term, long-term time frame of what your soldiers can expect, what you expect them to do every day, what you expect your NCOs to train, and then frame that over the long term. And then on a day-to-day basis, make sure you frame that time so that they know when they're going home, and they can also plan time with their families, because that's a very important thing. And it's very motivating for people to want to know when they're coming home to see their family. Families are important. We need to be able to take care of them, but provide them predictability, when they can expect us home, when we can do things together, because as you'll find out, there's a lot of times when we have training events or deployments, we miss a lot of important things. So we need to be able to plan time with them too, as well as planning time for our critical mission essential tasks. And then the last part of the acronym is sensitivity, being sensitive to their needs. And that doesn't mean letting people go at 12 o'clock in the afternoon to make everyone happy. What it means is to recognize the legitimate needs of your formation. And an example might be in the collective task of entering a building and clearing a room. Some of your soldiers may not have the right skill sets at the individual level to be trained in that task. So as a platoon leader, you can converse with your squad leaders and your team leaders in order to create some training so that the individual soldiers build that skill level in the afternoon when there's some free time, and maybe after work if you can properly coordinate that, but making sure those soldiers are trained in the critical individual tasks that they need to be successful in war. That's being sensitive to their needs and recognizing their needs and taking care of them. To conclude here, taking care of soldiers is critically important, and a good thing to remember, a good acronym to remember is TIPS. Talk to your soldiers, keep them informed, be predictable, and then be sensitive to the needs of soldiers and their families. Thank you.